Cougan Cassius, IFL TV here in Hull for the Jerome Wilson fundraiser. Woodhouse versus Coldwell. Interesting fight. Controversial stoppage, Dave, by referee Luke Campbell to hand the victory to your fighter, Curtis Woodhouse. Whoa,
my
former fighter. You know, he's a free agent now.
Free agent, yeah. For old time's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good day, wasn't it? Really good day.
It's incredible, like I said, the amount of people that come here to support this cause. And let's just backtrack a little bit. I know you've spoke about it to you blue in the face, but obviously the situation that happened after Jerome was in an induced coma, which he's now come out of. So what is the situation with him now then as it is?
It's speaking groggily, but you know, like when you get up in the morning and really, really tired. But his speaking, his recollection of things is great. He's talking about my first ever gym that he came into, sparring from 10 years back. He's talking about sparring with Curtis, and so his memory, at least his long-term memory, is great. He's asking people if they enjoyed the fight and they enjoyed the show. Which is unbelievable, really. He's moving, so his recovery is fantastic. It's what we've all been wishing for. But obviously, it's a long road. It's still very poorly. I mean, it's a weird. I was saying to Ryan and Curtis earlier on. It's a weird mixture of emotions when you see him, because on one hand you're so overwhelmingly happy. Because you're talking to him and because you're seeing him move his hands, you're seeing him move his legs and shaking people's hands, so you're really, really happy. But on the other hand, you just want to cry because you're seeing him, how you're remembering how he is and how you know him, as an athlete, and a really strong man, and then you're seeing him as the situation that he's in now. So it's a weird mixture of emotions, but overwhelmingly, it just feels like a massive cloud's like gone away from us a little bit, because he's alive and he's well, and we know that the way that he's fighting, he's gonna make a good recovery. I'm just praying that he ends up like Spencer Oliver. And can I just say, Spencer Oliver, thank you very, very much. He's rang me every single day. He's texted me, talking me through what happened with him. Right from the next day, and Spencer's been a massive help, as have countless other people. But the fact that Spencer went through all this, for him to pick up the phone and every day, it meant a lot. I can't really explain how everybody's been feeling about it. So people like that have picked up the phone. It's priceless.
Did this draw back memories to Kieran Farrell as well?
Yeah, that was I remember on the night, I just couldn't believe, not again. It's to happen once is terrible, but to happen twice, I can't actually. It's can you cut?
Oh my God, sorry. Cougan Cassius back with Dave Coldwell. Dave, it just ain't a business for you, is it? It's just not a clear cut. This is boxing as a business sort of attitude. You care about the fighters you've represented, and you've known since they were started in the sport, basically.
Yeah, I wish it was. It's times like this when I wish it was. But I was a fighter once, and I wasn't very good, but I was a fighter. I've done it where I've sacrificed everything to chase a dream. So I understand that these kids do the exact same thing, whatever level they're going to box at. I was area title level, and that's it. But I chased a dream, and these kids that have got far more talent than what I did, they're doing the same. And I know what they sacrifice. I know the life it is. That's why I wouldn't want my little boy to box. It's not the fact that yes, boxing's dangerous, but it's a lifestyle that goes with it. It's a lonely sport. But then when something bad happens, it brings it back home, and it makes you realise, you want to be able to do more for them. You wish that you could do more for them. But we have to rely on on the generosity of everybody else out there. We're putting on fundraisers and trying to do things to raise money and just to help them out, you know. But ultimately, you know, it changes lives for good. And the fighters' dreams and everything are crushed in a way that is the most horrible way that it can be, you know.
Going back to that night, I mean, I saw the fight back from Sheffield, and without having to really bring up any sort of thing with Sir John Bollow, could we put that down to now it's time to look at it as a heat of the moment thing? And
listen, that is the least of my worries now. On the night, obviously, I was extremely pissed off, and I was just disgusted. I just couldn't believe what I did. But at that point, nobody knew how bad Jerome was. You know, nobody did, and it's just, I'm not really arsed about that. All I'm bothered about is that Jerome recovers fully and can have and lead a normal life and do things that he could do before, take his personal training classes and work with the kids like he does or he did. I just want him to be absolutely normal, and if he can be normal, then whatever happened on that night, you know, with surgery and everything, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter now. No, I'm not asked.
I mean, moving forward now, obviously the health of Jerome is obviously priority, you know, for yourself, his family and everyone, his friends and that. But, you know, this is a good thing that everyone's done here today, and everyone sort of put their bit in to contribute to the day. But long-term wise, is there enough in the sport that covers this sort of thing? I know the British board do a little, or do some. Sorry, I shouldn't say a little. They do some.
The board have said that they'll do some. They'll do something for him. They have a fund that they will dip into, and I think every case is it's on its own merits how much they get and whatever. I don't think there's a flat figure. But you know, we've tonight hit for this tonight with the sponsorship and the money we've taken on the door tonight and everything. I think we're on about $9,000 for tonight, so that's phenomenal. Our next Sheffield show, we're going to give 15% roll gate receipts to Jerome. So hopefully, you know, and then we're also going to do auctions as well. So, you know, just on the gate receipts, hopefully, if we have a decent house, then, you know, we're going to give, you know, a good lump to Jerome, and then we're doing auctions for stuff that fighters have given us. Tony Bellew giving me shorts, gloves. Anthony Joshua is sending something up. Cal Yafai's already donated his ring walk, dressing gown. You know, Paul Smith's already done the tracksuit on Twitter. So we're going to just do stuff like that. We've got an eBay page.
All the Harrison as well.
All the Harrison with the Big Brother jacket as well. But for the future, everything's going to go on there, and then we're going to do it on Twitter, because it's all right. This is fantastic. We've raised some great money on the auctioneer, but you've got a little captive audience, and then out of that audience, a percentage that can afford to spend money.
Yeah.
But whereas on Twitter, everybody retweets and stuff like that, then you can get more money, and so we're going to do stuff like that. March, we're looking at doing a benefit dinner for him. Yeah. So hopefully all the big hitters will be able to come out for that. So we're gonna, you know, this isn't it. We're gonna do as much as we can, and then, you know, Jerome. I've always said Jerome will make a great trainer. This is why when we had Coldwell Boxing Education, we had him as one of the tutors. So, you know, if Jerome wants a gym to train in, he's got our gym to train fighters. You know, like what Ryan's doing. You know, and also he's got his personal training business and stuff. So, you know, we'll help him as much as we can. Unfortunately, you know, we're not rich. You know, we haven't got big pockets with loads of money in. You know, so it's not a case of where we can put. It's not a case of that. We can do what we can to help raise money, which we will do. But that's what makes this sport so hard. You know, football's a multi-billion-pound industry, so they have these things in place for insurance for footballers damaged and can't continue and stuff. He gets a good pension and a good wage. You know, boxing's not like that. In an ideal world, it would be, but in reality, boxers at the bottom end are earning shit money. You know, and it's not, we say, oh yeah, promoters should pay money, but we don't have television, so we can't pay TV title money, and even TV money at the bottom end is not great, you know. So it's very difficult to try and say, oh yeah, well, they should be getting more money, should be getting this, should be getting, because in reality, it just don't work that way. No, you know, no fighter gets paid enough to you know to say, well, if he suffers a brain damage, that's all right, he's getting paid that. If you're getting paid £1 million for a fight and you end up having a brain operation and being you know, the rest of your life, you know, ruined, is £1 million, or would you take £1 million for that?
Take 10 million quid for it.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what amount the fighter's getting paid for what can go wrong in this sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's you know, it's nothing, but it can happen if you're getting paid a few £100, or it can happen if you're getting paid millions, you know, and it's just one of those things. But every fighter knows the risks. Every fighter knows when they get in the ring what can happen. And can I just say on that note, the fact that Tommy Coyle's got a fight coming up, and he got in and he's done this today, getting involved, it's one thing when you know that an injury's happened and stuff like that. Oh, that's really bad, this. But then to throw yourself into it, you're up close and personal with it, you know what's going off. He's got a fight coming up. That's the last thing a fighter wants to be thinking about. So, you know, huge amount of respect for Tommy for putting himself in that position. You know, he didn't have to do it. And Curtis as well, because Curtis is out of shape. Curtis hasn't been training at all. You know, and he knows that he knows it was setting himself up to look out of shape or look, you know, but he wasn't bothered. He just said, I want to do it now. I said to him, I said, why don't you do it in a couple of months? I said, let's, you know, get yourself in shape, and so you know you've got a lot of pride. It's in your home city. You know, there's a lot of beef between you and Tommy Coyle on Twitter and stuff. You don't want to go in there and looking out of shape and old. And he was like, no, we need to do it now. So, you know, I've got loads of respect for them two fellas.
Alright, well, listen, Dave Coldwell, thanks for talking to IFL TV, and we'll go and enjoy the rest of the night. Cheers. And see, said, hopefully take that $9 grand a bit higher by the end of it.
Yeah, hopefully. But the whole boxing fans, the community, people that are on my Twitter, everybody in the game that's retweeted, favorited, donated, anything they've done to help us to raise money for Jerome, and anything to the people that are going to do in future, I just want to thank them all, because they've been phenomenal, and it has been emotional, the fact that so many people have got behind it. And Jerome, when we told Jerome, he can't believe how people have reacted to him, and I can't wait for him to come to a show and have people, you know, we're going to get him in the ring and have people give him a round of applause and whatever. And I just, you know, I want him to feel that appreciation, because it's great you see it on, you know, eventually when he starts looking at his Twitter and stuff, he's going to take him about 10 weeks to look through all his tweets. But it's great seeing all that, but to feel that from people in a captive audience, I'm looking forward to him seeing that. Absolutely. Well, listen, wish him the best from everyone, not just us, but everyone, and I'm sure you will anyway. And keep us updated on his progression, and let's hope he, you know, gets back to his normal self. Thanks, Matt. All right. Thanks for coming. No problem. Kugan Cassius, Dave Coldwell, IFL TV here in Hull. Thank you very much. Cheers, Matt.